Set 4 will be played on Akilon Wastes. Spawning up in the top left-hand position. This time around for the 4th game, we do have another red Protoss from KT Rolster, and it is Zest.
His opponent spawning as a green Terran on the right bottom position of the map. His name is Light, playing for Woongjin Stars. And we are 0-4 when it comes to the intros today.
Yeah, 0-4 guys, 0-4.
So we got Alco.
Wasn't sure if we were going to be seeing a map there or not, but yeah, we just don't know, guys. It's really just a guessing game, unfortunately, but we can get good at guessing. We can get good at that.
Today's just not the day for us, I guess.
Well, it is the first day in the Winners League format as well, so
for the second half of the season.
For the second half, it's been a few rounds since we've been doing Winners League, so gotta brush off the dust as far as that goes. Also, want to note that we had a PvZ early on. We had some PvPs. Finally getting a PvT here. So this is a good day for Protosses to, you know, jot down some build order notes.
Protoss.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Light, when it comes to 2013 official matches, he is 9-6. 60% win rate. Against Protoss, he is only 4-3, but that's also 57.1%. This is including Kespa matches and the WCS matches, televised matches.
Looks like both players opting to go for a gas opening here. Don't see a second gas quite yet from Zest here. Maybe just going to stick on one for now. Grab that earlier expansion. But the early gas from our Woongjin player may point towards this potential Reaper play. Or they could just go ahead and get that reactor, maybe even a fast factory if they really want to.
Not getting a gas is more awkward than getting a gas these days. Let's put it that way. You know, it was so popular for Terran players to go for the Rax expand while not getting any gas, and now they usually 90% of the time they open a Reaper. If they do not open a Reaper, it's factory play.
So. And you know what, the reason behind that is in Heart of the Swarm, with the addition of the Mothership Core, Protoss players, you know, they're able to put on a little bit more aggression earlier on in the game, forcing Terran players to keep honest. Also, they got to worry about those oracles too.
So Reaper now, and he's gonna follow it up with the reactor and then the command center. So really standard opening by Light. I'm just wondering if he's gonna do the SCV all-in train again. You know, that's what we saw from him last time against a Protoss player, and we might see that once again coming out from Light.
Now the 3-base Hellbat SCV pull. Pretty hard for Protoss players to deal with here, but I'm pretty sure that Zest, he'll have that in mind when he's fighting Light here. And the Zealot does spot the command center going down here. Light with some nice micro does keep all of his SCVs alive, and actually this SCV gets into the main base of Zest here, so it doesn't see too much there, but it still does get a bit of a scout off.
It also sees that there isn't any really early tech from his opponent, but he could have hidden it somewhere else inside his natural base. So all Light has to do right now is scout that the natural expansion is up, and he's good to go.
Also, Nexus being started from Zest as well here. So, gonna match the macro play of his opponent Light here. And beyond that, just second racks going up. Light wants to make sure that he can, you know, remain defensive.
So I'm just, you know, it's a little different opening that we saw from Zest today. Most players, they go for the double gas, put the 2 probes in each geyser. Seems like he wanted to get the expansion out a little earlier,
nice
and
snipe
nice
there,
snipe, knowing that the SCV was really low on HP because of the previous harassment.
Also, I want to point out that 2 Marines actually can't kill Mothership Core here. And this Mothership Core is just going to continue attacking. He can't micro against that SCV as well. There he goes, and will he be able to get it? Very low on health there.
He can still go for it.
Yes,
there
he
we go.
does manage to get it. So Zest getting a nice early lead here by just being very annoying against Light. You know, killing off 2 of those SCVs here. Getting the Forge behind it, the Robotech +1 armor on the way. Things are looking pretty good for Protoss right now.
It's a little victory, and now Zest is going for the really fast robo play A lot more players have been opting to this recently. You know, going for the robo and getting a forge up right after.
Yeah.
Going for the +1 defense while also going for the tech of their choice. So it really depends on what Zest is going to go for. We've seen a follow-up by Terminator going for the Twilight Council right after the +1 armor. We could definitely see a robo bait behind this also, but it really depends on what he decides to do after he kills the scouting from his opponent.
All right, well, it looks like Light wants to get aggressive here. He is moving across the map
nice
with a good amount of Marines. You know, he did get the scout that the Protoss player pretty much has nothing right now. So these Marines could actually end up doing a good amount of damage here. The Mothership Core, it needs to be in perfect position for this attack. He's probably going to have to use a Nexus Cannon to defend against this.
Well, he's one of either the natural or the main is going to be safe at this point.
Okay, well, it looks like this has been spotted, so Zest, will he be prepared and able to deal with this? He's going to have the Guardian Shield, he's going to have the Nexus Cannon, so, I mean, it shouldn't be a big deal here. Yeah, Nexus Cannon goes down, kills off a Marine, and, you know, not really anything that the Terran player can do at this point, besides just be annoying, kind of poke and prod.
Behind this Immortal coming out on the way, so it seems like Zest, he wants to get a lot of firepower in the beginning of the game before he gets additional tech down, just relying on the gateways. And
bit of a mistake there, losing that Stalker. Absolutely didn't have to lose this. Light, on the other hand, he did throw away a few Marines there, but no, you know, he didn't lose any gas.
Gorush was actually talking about this build in the chat a few days ago. He was talking about how this build is supposed to counter the 3-base SCV pull-in from his opponent. What you do is to go for the robo, get the Immortals out, and do an Immortal-based Templar-based army from the Protoss player. And if the Terran player doesn't scout properly, they're going to think that it's going to be a Colossus 100%, so they get the Vikings out, and then they go for the push instead of getting the Ghost for the EMP. So the Storm set the Immortals buff. Immortals pretty much tank all the damage from the Marauders, and the Protoss player defends against the attack easily. But of course, if he gets the second Immortal out, he can still go for the bust on this map.
Look at this, though. We have a lot of additional gateways going down here. The +1 armor has finished up for our Protoss player. Is getting +2 attack. And he does have that extra forge there, so probably going to go for that +1 attack pretty soon here. Also, charge on the way, the +1 attack for our Terran player. Just about the complete as well here, and we're seeing a third command center behind this pressure from our Terran player.
So he's going to, if he does not go for the attack behind these two bases with, no, 4 gateways. Yeah, he's actually faking it right now. That's he really wants to show the Colossus right now. It's like, hey, look at me. I'm going for the Colossus-based army. I know you love to do the SCB pull, so make Vikings when you come instead of the Ghost Academy and the Ghost with the EMPs.
They're ready to go. We do have that +1 on the way now from our Protoss player. Like you mentioned, getting that Templar Archives behind this here. So we could see that. Oh, look at this. We have a drop heading over to the base of Zest here. Does he have his units in position? Looks like those another hallucinated Colossus being added into the mix here. And are we going to see those Vikings? We aren't seeing any quite yet here. I'm not sure if Light is fooled by this.
Well, Light didn't see the Robobay. That's why he's not sold right now on that idea of having the Vikings out on the field. He's just like, well, I saw the Colossus, but I don't know if it's real or not right now. I didn't see the Robobay, so there's no reason for me to assume that it's going to be the Colossus. And if you look at the production tab right now, he's confused on what to get right now. You know, he got the armory up. He's going to try to get the Helbus out if he wants to go for the push. But look at this, finally the Vikings. And this is going to work out well for Zest.
Certainly is here. And you know what? We may not even see a push from Light here. It's just speculation. Well, we haven't seen any Hellbats in production quite yet here. But the third base pretty much complete at this point and starting to get slowly saturated. But you know, if you look at things right now, the supplies are actually in the favor of our Protoss player. He's got a good amount of Immortals here. A little kind of pressure over here from our Woongjin player. Not going to be able to make anything happen from those medevacs. And we have Archons in the mix, man.
He's sitting on 2 bases. Remember that. 8 gateways. The pylons are in position, and he's in perfect location to go for the push, but not so perfect to defend against the counter drop inside the main base.
There's actually no units at the natural for Light here, and Zest is just going to walk in and say, "Oh, hey man, thanks for keeping your front door open for me." At the same time, Light is trying to do damage at the main and natural of Zest here, but the Mothership core and the charge lots will definitely be able to help defend against this. And Look at this. All of those supply depots getting absolutely annihilated. The command center at the natural being lifted up. Nexus cannon goes down at the natural for Zest as well, and things are looking pretty
not how you
good for a
SCV
Protoss
pull.
player. That is not how you SCV pull. That is how you group them up and let them get killed here. I am glad there's no Storm in this army because it would be just absolute massacre if that was added in here. These Immortals are just doing work on this army, and Light just completely falling down in supplies here. I don't think there's anything he can do really at this point.
He could try to go for the counterattack, but I just don't see Light coming back into this game at this point. He has a Nexus cannon. Zest already has enough economy back at the main base to warp in extra units. GG. Really nice make by Zest. It's just showing the Colossus while going for the Archon-based army. And Light, he's like, well, Colossus, I'm going to get the Vikings out. He's not going to have Archons. I don't need to go for the EMPs right now. And as soon as he said that, bam.
No,
game is over.
I feel like Light actually kind of misread his opponent's build there because, like you mentioned, he did feel a little bit confused, and he was just completely out of position when that attack came. Like, he started building bunkers when Zest was attacking him, essentially.
Also, remember, he did go for the third base, which means that he wasn't going to have as much production compared to